Hello, I'm Crimson Clover, and welcome back to Clover Reads. Today we have two posts from the Am I the Asshole Here subreddit, and one from the Wholesome Story subreddit as a nice little palate cleanser. The first is from user SelfCustard769, titled, Am I the Asshole for Using My Open Relationship to Find a New Girlfriend? My ex, Gina, and I were dating for about 5 years. She said that she loved me, but that she wanted to open our relationship and experience more life. I really didn't want that. I told her that wasn't my thing. She persisted, and I eventually agreed because I didn't want to lose her. I am not an extroverted person, and I didn't really want anyone else, so I mostly just went on with my life. 6 months ago, I met Helen through my work. She was really interesting. We have similar hobbies and tastes in pop culture. We started hanging out. She knew about my relationship, so we were just friends. Until we weren't. It wasn't sexual, it was weird. A guy asked her out and she said no. Then she called me and said that I was the closest thing to a boyfriend for her, other than the fact that I had a girlfriend. She said she was into me, and she had turned down a date because it felt like she was cheating on me. I thought about it, and I asked her if she thought we would be a good couple. She said absolutely, but that she wasn't going to be responsible for me leaving my ex. I told her to give me a month. At that point, I wonder, does Helen know that you had a, supposedly at least, open relationship? Because then you could have pursued her, if she was okay with that, because then she would have known beforehand. I broke up with my ex that night. I packed up and moved out since it was her lease. I gave her money to cover my half of the bills until February. I talked to Helen, and we kept hanging out as friends. Then I asked her on a proper date. She said yes, and stipulated that she was a one-man woman. She would never want an open relationship. That is what I want. Okay. So it sounds like she might have known. Gina found out that I basically dumped her to be with someone else, and she is pissed that I developed feelings for someone else while I was with her. She said that wasn't what I was supposed to do in an open relationship. She is also upset because she can't really afford her apartment by herself. I told her that I didn't want an open relationship, but she insisted. I don't think I did anything wrong. Am I the asshole here? Well, Opie, not really, in my opinion. And that is just my opinion. Like, maybe you could have told Gina that you were developing feelings for someone else, and then maybe she would have closed her side of the relationship. Because clearly, she didn't expect you to actually have anyone else on the side. She seemed, from what you've told us, to expect that she could have her fun elsewhere, and you would only have her. But maybe you could have talked things out. I'm not quite sure. I have definitely never been in this position. We'll probably never be in this position. I've seen a lot of stories where opening the relationship doesn't usually work out. I can't think of any off the top of my head where they have worked out. But if you do know such a story, or you have such an experience yourself, let me know in the comments down below. I'd be perfectly happy to hear them. And let's move on to our second story of the night with Reddit user Forsaken Figure 6334, titled, Am I the asshole for refusing to wake my girlfriend up for work, which led to her getting fired? Is this one where you're gonna kick her out? Or you're gonna move out and she can't afford her rent? It depends. I, 26 male, have been in a relationship with my girlfriend Jess, 28 female, for 3 years. Jess and I live together. Okay. 28 is old enough to know to get up on time. Jess is not a morning person. This is primarily due to the fact that she's up until 2 or 3 a.m. every day on her phone, despite having to wake up at 8 a.m. I have tried to get her to start going to bed earlier so she could wake up on time, but she says that would leave her with no time to do her own things. Seeing that she only works until 4 p.m., that is patently false, but I decided not to press the issue. Generally, I have to wake Jess up. I wake up at 5, run for an hour, get home at 6, shower, eat breakfast, and use my computer a bit. I'll start waking Jess up around 7:30. I fully understand it's ridiculous to have to wake a 28-year-old woman up, but I honestly don't mind, or at least I wouldn't mind if it weren't for the fact that waking Jess up is a nightmare. I start by gradually turning on the lights at around 7:30, starting with the bedside lamp. Then I begin gently trying to wake her up. If she gets up around this time, she'll go to the bathroom, and then I'll go back to the room to find her asleep again. Oh dear. The worst part about waking her up is that she's so ornery in the morning. She uses expletives directed at me, insult me, and then later when I bring up her words, she'll just say, I was sleepy and out of it. What do you want me to do? I've personally never cussed someone out while sleepy, and I'm sleepy an awful lot. Well, last Friday, she pushed things a bit too far. I was waking Jess up as usual, and when she walked past me to go to the bathroom, she made this exaggerated dry heaving sound at me. Then she said, You effing smell, take a shower. I had already taken a shower, and always keep good hygiene. That evening, I told her that our deal with me waking her up every day was done. I was done with her tantrums, done with her insults, and done with her frankly stupid facial expressions with how out of it she was. I told her that I'm not moving a finger to make sure she gets up for work on time. She was naturally upset about this, but I said she could wake herself up. Today was Monday, and lo and behold, she overslept and was over an hour late. Since she had already been written up twice during her probationary period for her job, this was an automatic firing. Around noon, she called me incoherently yelling about how I got her fired. I had to hang up on her to get back to work. When I got home, she immediately started shrieking at me more, and then demanded half my salary until she found a better job. I feel like making her go cold turkey on waking up might have been too sudden, and apparently she really liked the job she had. Should I have at least tried to wake her up? I want to say maybe you're the asshole if you have spoken to her about this habit before. I think you said you did, and she says she can't do what she wants to do if she doesn't stay up super late. But I'm a bit of a night owl. I like staying up later. I have a hard time falling asleep, and I still am perfectly capable of waking myself up in the morning. Now, maybe she has a medical condition she's not aware of? That would maybe not completely excuse the behavior, because waking up to cuss someone out because they're doing what you want them to do to make sure you don't lose your job? Don't do that. That's mean. But like, having to get up, like, start waking her up a half an hour early and knowing if she goes to the bathroom, she's gonna go right back to bed. Having her yell at you. Maybe if you were feeling kind, it sounds like you were overall kind, and she pushed like all the wrong buttons, I suppose, calling you smelly and stuff. But maybe soft, tiny little asshole, because you could have said, hey, starting next week, starting tomorrow or starting next week, I'm not going to wake you up anymore. You have a week to start waking yourself up and get used to it. The cold turkey, maybe teeny little bit, but everyone has their breaking point, so only a teeny little bit. And so for our mood booster post, as Astronaut occasionally says, we have a one from Low Cicada. Cicadas can burn, I don't like them at all. Low Cicada 4957. If you live in an area that has cicadas, they are so loud. They can damage your hearing. Ah! Halloween handouts. About 6 years ago, my wife and I lived in a suburb with many children. We're childless, and as a result, we enjoy holidays that celebrate kids and their families. Furthermore, my wife is a trained elementary educator, so she is sensitive to kids' needs and wants. Roughly 2017, we lived in a neighborhood in upstate New York, and Halloween was around the corner. My wife decided that the kids would probably be thirsty by the time they got near our house. The adults were probably bored to tears and would likely be lagging behind the kids, eager to get to the next sugar high. Next sugar high? I'm assuming this is because they eat the candy afterwards, but maybe some of them are eating the candy along the way. We put our minds together and figured there were two appropriate solutions: juice boxes and neon glow sticks. Whenever the kids showed up at the door, we gave them a juice box, had them turn around and wait, and attached a glow stick to their collar at the back so Mom and Dad could see their little bundles of joy running ahead of them to the next haunted house. That is an adorable idea. I like that so much. The fallout? Immediate yells of gratitude from the street from the parents for the glowing glow ball positioning systems. A glow ball instead of global. That's so cute. We touched those tiny bundles of joy. The following day, we discovered a trail of empty juice boxes from the house to the street. I wish peace, love, and happiness to you all. That is an absolutely adorable story. And I wonder if they're still doing it. Did they just do it the 1 year? Or did they keep doing it later? And of course, I'm sure they went and cleaned up all the juice boxes. Although, parents, if your kids have juice boxes and they're walking around, please clean up after them if you can at least see. And if it's dark, carry flashlights. You never know what you might trip over. Or what sort of danger noodles there might be. But I have recently learned that people are putting blue, or was it teal? Or turquoise. They're putting pumpkins on their porch that aren't orange. That signify that they have gifts to give to the kids that aren't candy. So that kids with food allergies and stuff can still go trick-or-treating and enjoy the experience. Which I thought was really cool. Also probably a lot more expensive, so extra kudos to people who can do this and are willing to do this. Like, I haven't really gotten a lot of kids down my street frequently for the last couple of years. Expected with the whole thing a couple of years ago. But it's always nice to see people still reaching out and supporting the people who can't have like all the candy. Because you got food allergies, you got diabetics, you got the whole host of different illnesses besides just those two, like celiac and GERDs. Okay, I know there's more than that, but that's all I can remember off the top of my head. Anyway, do you have any Halloween traditions? What kind of candy do you give out? My grandma used to, she used to buy like the big full-size candy bars, and she wouldn't give them out to the kids who came by. She would just give them to the grandkids at the end of the night, which I always thought was really nice. And I had this one neighbor who gave out money, like random little bags of change that she just saved up through the year. And then there's just toss handfuls of coins into it. Didn't count out how much each thing had. It was random. But I don't know any kid that would turn down money, really. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of things in the comments down below, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye!